So hey folks, always a pleasure to see everyone. Happy New Year. This is our first session of the year. Big Impact Talks and a friendly conversation with industry experts around whatever topics they want to talk about. Of course, our interest is always around digitization and supply chain and freight and trade finance, and how we can make all that better. With that, Andrea, I will pass over the microphone to you to introduce our very special guest today. And yeah, let's have fun with this.
Absolutely. And I hope he's going to have fun as well. So today we have, I guess, Peter, not Peter. If my pronunciation, sorry, my Slovenian is not that good, my Croatian as well. So we have Peter, CargoX company from Slovenia, doing wonders. Basically dealing with, at least as much as I know, with electronic bills of lading. So it's one of those heroes involved with the digitalization process going on in international trade and trade finance. And they're doing great things. I've heard many, many great things about them, being MLETR compliant. So, which is a great, great, great things, working in some critical areas such as Egypt. So it's I've been wanting this for quite a long time, Peter. I tell you the truth. So thanks to our common friend Maria for making this happen. And basically, I leave it on to you because, from our understandings, you wanted to talk to us about something really special. We talked about smart contracts, stable coins in the embedded trade funds. So this rings me more than one bell, to be very honest. So let's keep it insightful and as much as you can. I
I
leave
haven't
the
seen
stage
Andrea this
fully.
excited in a long time. He's always excited, but even more today.
Yeah.
So awesome
And
news.
today is first session of 2024. So, and we're going great. We're going big.
Yeah.
It's
Thank you very much,
stage
Andrea,
is
and
yours.
thank you, Eric, for the intro. Very much appreciated. It's quite an honor to be the first in the year, So also Happy New Year to all the viewers of this event. Well, this year it's quite exciting, I must say, for the folks being engaged into digital transformation, paperless trade. Because after years of talking about it, finally we see some results also around building the legal frameworks around electronic records, moving away from documents to records to data. That's also quite exciting. It's exciting to see reputable organizations working together on building standards, because without standards we cannot progress. The standards, of course, needs to be enforceable. The standards needs to have ability to be technically supported, working around interoperability, another buzzword and big word for success of digital trade. So standards, interoperability, legal frameworks. We will get to mindsets, which is a big obstacle to bridge, obviously, because once you have everything put together, from the legal perspective, from the technical perspective, standard perspective, you still need to have the mind, the power of the mind to go and enforce and bring these solutions, these technologies into your business and private environments. My personal thought is that anyway, the technology is progressing so fast that it's quite obvious that the governments, regulators, jurisdictions have difficulty coping with providing legal frameworks to support these technological advanced solutions. But on the business to consumer side, we already see adoption of these new technologies. If we just look at our younger people, they live their lives digitally, right? From morning till late in the night, basically. And once these people are starting to enter the job market, they will have expectations for the business environment to offer them something similar, right? So printing things on paper, right? That might be a turnoff for talents joining this kind of corporate environments and business environments, right? So yeah, I see this year very exciting. Beyond ICC with their Center for Digital Trade and Innovation, when I see SWIFT being involved in new solutions in paperless trade, the DCSA putting together standards and working on interoperability, trade trust in Singapore, working on interoperability and providing a legal framework around blockchain to exchange electronic records, and us moving into structured data, JSON-based documents. I really started seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Right? Another
And
important
CargoX has been at this for a long time, right? I mean, I remember hearing about CargoX, was it 3 years ago with Egypt Customs?
That was around 3 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, that's also a statement when a regulator comes into digital transformation, right? Things might fly quite fast, right? So it is a message. Egypt is a use case, which is also a message to the governments and to the industry, right?
Mhm.
You wanna build something that is creating value. The acceleration will be much faster with the government being backing up this kind of projects, right? We were onboarding up to 1,000 corporates a week after the implementation of the digital solution,
Wow.
including KYC, KYB, establishing digital identities, AML, and sanction screening for the trade compliance, right? So if you are able to scale that fast with ability in the background, which the customers or the onboarded companies didn't even notice, is creating their ledger, is creating their blockchain wallet, is creating their private key, their public address. So being completely capable of interacting with the future of the Web3 environment, then these things make stuff even more exciting, right? Because we have been able to onboard over 120,000 companies in a span of 2 years, and introducing additional products, and introducing in the future also products around trade finance, embedded trade finance, using modern technologies for payments. So from lead to cash, from source to pay, we can support this kind of interactions in the business. But in order to get there, for us, it's quite important to work on proof of concepts. I would just mention that we are going in a couple of months. We're going live with a product in Japan, which is built around smart contracts. One is the document smart contract of CargoX, tokenizing the electronic records, electronic documents like bill of lading. You have an escrow smart contract for the payment obligation in stable coins. So the smart contract picks up on events, right? Because it's programmed to do that, right? For instance, when payment is being made from the buyer to the seller, the smart contract recognizes that activity and triggers simultaneously the transfer of possession or title of the bill of lading, which is tokenized through NFT. So imagine that kind of service is available 24/7. That kind of service is providing efficiencies, speed, accuracy, a very high level of trust. So this kind of proof of concept that we are engaging with, right, is a statement then to the industry that technology can really offer value to the cross-border trading, as long as we keep an open mind to this kind of technologies. Another project that we are engaging with is combining different technologies for the best value of the trade. It's IoT, AI, and ledger blockchain technology. IoT will be providing data on the physical movement of the car, right? Loaded, sailing, reaching half of the sailing journey. This is the vessel, this is the voyage number, this is the GPS position of the vessel and the cargo. Combining with AI capability to screen the data for the trade compliance, HS codes, declaration of the value of the cargo, and then blockchain to transfer the possession, ownership of the documents at a specific part of the journey, right? Providing also data for insurance purposes, claim purposes, and providing data for ESG evaluation of the transactions. This makes things very, very interesting. And as CargoX, we are in the midst. Yeah? And on one side, we are managing and supporting quite traditional, I would say, digital transformation from paper to electronic records. When the workflows, the process basically is the same, right? You might have a letter of credit, then you have the bill of lading, you have other supporting documents. Somebody needs to endorse the bill of lading. You need to present the documents to the banks. They need to verify the accuracy of the data and then do the commitment to pay and release the documents towards the consignee who can then claim the cargo. But technology can now really offer new ways of trade financing, delivering new products to the market that the corporates and small and medium
I was
market.
about to ask you this, Peter. New products. This
New
is what
products,
interesting.
products that will bring benefits both to the market, to the small and medium customers, to large corporates, and to the banks. With providing efficiencies, better liquidity, better overview, embedded trade finance with ability to enter risk-free into financing on a product level, right? Harvesting the data of trust. If you use Ledger to record digital identities, to record specific events in the business journey, if you use IoT, AI, digital identities, electronic signature, that's the element of trust, which can speed up the decision-making and process of financing, risk assessment, pre-financing of the business, and providing more liquidity to the market and to the end consumer. So the consumers of the financial services will have easier access and access to completely new products that in the past have not been possible because of the lack of the technology, right? So for me, that is a very, very exciting moment. Just mentioning the use case I said in Japan, you have the escrow service, right? So you might be a non-financial institution and decide to finance on specific products. You have access to data on the identities, the history of the applicants, who wants to be financed, for how much, for how long. You do the risk assessment, you put in your money. You don't need to be a bank. You're still able to finance the business. So for me, that is really something that the industry will need to seriously start engaging with. Also the big players, even though they are right, large international banks and then SWIFT and other organizations are really piloting, testing. But unfortunately, we have not reached the scale yet. Right? I think my opinion is, of course, there's also some lack in regulation, managing regulation around NFTs, regulation around stable coins, regulation around blockchain payments, which the technology itself can be regulated, right? I mean, the utilization, the usage of it.
Can I ask you something, Peter?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry to interrupt you. You were mentioning banking level payments and stuff like this. One of the main innovations that came out recently is the so-called URDTT by SC UK, which we guessed several times in the past 2 years. We had David Manel, we had Chris Southwood, we had Sarah Green. One of the first things that David told us is that the URDT is no longer bank-centric. Meaning that it allows different stakeholders in different sectors step into this picture. What's your opinion into this? Could this speed up maybe what you were saying, enabling stakeholders to scale and create parallel markets, no longer bank-centric, but you have the fintech sector, you have other financial institutions be let in, which nowadays is not possible because basically think of all the LLCs basically being dealt by banks. Sorry, you don't want to go too long.
Access to the network is much easier when you deploy and use this kind of technologies, right? But I just wanted to make a point here. Using modern technologies like Ledger, blockchain, and IoT, Web3 environment does not mean that these cannot be regulated or compliant.
Mm-hmm.
CargoX is using public blockchain. And yet we are GDPR compliant. We have ISO security standard. We are aligned with MLTR rulebook. We are aligned with ETDA, the new law in UK. We are aligned with other security and technical requirements. We are supporting the existing regulation around electronic signatures. The wallets that our users manage to store and transfer electronic documents, bills of ladings, digital assets are whitelisted, are verified, screened versus trade compliance, sanction list. So we are managing compliance and security and risk while still deploying a product which is fast, efficient, cost efficient, available 24/7, right? With ability for easy enter, right? Based on the data and the fast, how fast you can do the risk assessment. Of course, then this opening the floor to the non-financial organizations, to others to join this ecosystem of trust, to bring in extra liquidity to the market, which I'm sure it's going to be quite beneficial for small and medium markets specifically, because ability to easily access finance for the products that we are deploying, and we are part of these consortiums when we deploy a more complex solutions. All you need is access to internet, and then basically you're on, right? You can do a number of products that we are deploying and we're about to deploy using your mobile phone, right? Including financing and cross-border trading. Yeah? So I think that that's going to be bringing new moment for the small and medium market with ability to access, and also for the financial and non-financial organizations to have access to data, to do the risk assessment faster, to do the compliance checks faster, and then to tailor-made and deploy financing services according to the requirements and to the products that are seeking different ways of financing. That's my humble opinion.
Talking about new products, this also helps. But you mentioned if you're using your mobile, which nowadays you cannot do, by the way, when you work on a letter of credit, of course, because of the inner nature of the instrument. It sees all the effects, just another product. It helps enhancing economy of the products you're working with. It's basically like you see, an e-commerce based models applied to trade. It goes much swifter, it goes more seamless, and everybody can use this. I repeat it often, how many companies nowadays can afford, and small and medium companies can afford to go through the traditional trade finance products, for sure not the small and medium companies, which are left apart from the big picture. You asking, and it's even more expensive. So on both sides, it's engaging for the people working for the organization. It's also very expensive. So this is, in my opinion, what people involved in this process are doing. Sorry, Peter.
But exactly, it's a costly experience for the market, right? For instance, you get a big order of your products. You need to finance. You need to buy and replenish your inventory to be able to produce this big order. And usually you would ask for financing for that, right? And then usually it comes down to give me the down payment or provide some guarantees. If you use new technologies with history of data, with ability to process it in a fast and efficient way, you will be able to get financing faster and in different ways, right? And you will also have a broader choice how to get your production financed, and then ability to sell those products versus the order that you have received, right? So these technologies definitely will help the trade to be more efficient, more liquidity is going to be there. And for me, using smart contracts is also quite an important element. I know that the traditional industries in financing and in trade finance have had some concerns around using smart contracts in deploying their products to the market. Then again, a smart contract is just a code. It's just a series of orders, what needs to happen when a specific event occurs. And that triggers automatization in the process. I would not be shy in looking into smart contracts to deploy in the trade finance. I would not be shy in deploying smart contracts in the supply chain, in logistics, in shipping, in customs, because it can really speed up and bring the efficiencies. Of course, some elements need to happen, like legal frameworks, regulation. But we also have some very exciting initiatives in terms of the regulation out there. European Union is doing their best with EFTI, with EADAS addressing the signatures. Then we have the MiCA, trying to do some regulation around digital assets, NFT, tokenization of digital assets. And we need those kind of initiatives to actually provide the framework where these new technologies can really excel. Because the potential is huge, and that's why me personally and CargoX is investing quite a lot of resources and time in being part of these new proof of concepts, these projects which are using these new technologies to showcase and prove the business value. I actually like more the word proof of business value than proof of concepts, because we have proven the concept so many times. It's just providing the proof of
That's an
business
interesting
value.
perspective.
Absolutely. I love this, right? Because technology has been proven. We stop fighting about it. It's proven it works, right? So it's the business side of things that we need to convince people that it can work.
Yeah, definitely. So that's why we are doing this, and then disclosing this, and then through PRs and providing white papers to address and to provide some thought material to the corporates to actually drive and engage in this kind of products, because they will see a large benefit in that, right? When you wait for a paper-based document for 10 days to be delivered by a courier service, that's not efficient. It's also not very good for the environment, right? Now we have the legal framework. For instance, ETDA, the English law, is covering 80% of the global trade. We have the electronic capabilities to manage electronic trade documents, from bill of lading to commercial invoices to packing list to certificates, warranty letters, letters of credit. So why is the reason this is not scaling, right? That's the mindset.
So why do you think the
why
reason is not scaled, right? Why do you think this
the,
isn't catching on as quickly as it should? Everybody's complaining about their supply chains globally. We can fix
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Why
And
are they not?
nobody's
Why are they
embracing
not
it.
hanging on? Yeah.
Well, we came to the last part of my introduction, right, which is the mindset, right?
Right.
This really needs to become part of the management meetings and discussions, right? How fast are we deploying, and how fast are we catching up with the new technologies, with new products? How are we addressing efficiency by bringing in technology? Interoperability is working, right? Maybe through API technology, but we as CargoX, we are successfully interoperating with other ERP or legacy systems using API connectivity to exchange data in a secure manner. And all of that is basically providing also the corporates or the companies to modularly build their capabilities. You can still use your legacy system, right? But you then integrate and use API connections to a different product, like an e-bill of lading platform, or to the advanced cargo information platform, where you can then seamlessly manage the set of data and electronic records between your legacy system and a modern channel which can operate and connect to different customs authority systems, bank systems, bank software, insurance companies. So you don't need to print, you don't need to manually sign, you don't need to put documents in an envelope and use courier services. And the fact is, these products are existing, they're out there, right? It's just a matter of reaching out to all fintech, EBL, digital trade document companies that I know of, even our competitors. I know and I guarantee to all the viewers of this event is they are very open.
Mm-hmm.
They will offer, all of them, including us, a sandbox to test and play, offer some grace period for the before you go live and you scale. They will offer expertise, opinion, access to information, right? In my repository, I have access to all major documents that addresses digital transformation. The white papers, the ICC repository of digital toolkits. So it's just a matter of reaching out, and you will get support in your digital transformation.
That's awesome. And we need that kind of encouragement, right, from the people, like you said, that have the mindset to make it happen, because there's still so many people that don't have that mindset, and they just don't know what they're missing.
Yeah, my background is I was working in shipping for most of my career, and also with the large international freight forwarders, and especially when I was working for the freight forwarders. It amazes you how much paper there is still in the office.
Hey, I grew up as a freight forwarder, and I started on a typewriter, so watch what you say.
I mean, me as a leader, when I was looking through the office and I saw people walking to the printer and back, and then bringing the documents to be signed to the supervisor or to the manager, that's just waste of time. Right? For me personally,
or typing your letter of credit, your bill of lading, following that letter of credit, but you forgot that period here, right, or that comma, or that letter, and you have to start all over again.
Exactly.
Right.
So for me, it's not bringing in technology is not about decreasing the number of employees. It's just engaging them in a different way. For me, spending 1 minute on the business that was already won by administrative tasks is a waste of time. I rather would see my employees use that time to call a customer, to say, well, you haven't booked with us for a week, right? What's going on? Can I help you? Or do analytics, get to know the industries of their customers better. What plays, what doesn't.
What's your forecast?
Exactly. So for me, it's just simply better redistribution of your employees for the best value of the organization, right? And also this kind of redistribution using new technologies is making the work environment and the job itself more interesting. It's quite nagging to do repetitive administrative tasks using paper in 2024. Right? So again, the call to action is within this week, reach out to one of the fintech, EBL, trade documents providers, and just ask for some introduction, for a demo, maybe ask for a sandbox and start playing.
That's a great idea, right? Ask for that sandbox and test it out for yourself. You'll see how easy it is.
Once people see, that's a statement, the testimony from a number of our users. They were so reluctant. You know how much effort they need to spend to actually convince them to go ahead and to do a pilot, to do a proof of business value. And then when they finally do, it's like, oh my gosh, why have you been waiting for such a long time? This is so easy. This is so transparent. This is so seamless.
Yeah.
And once you showcase it today, you have also preserved all the confidentiality, GDPR, legal requirements for the electronic documents or transactions. When you have opened up accessibility to the financing part, to trade finance, to embedded finance, and then they really start thinking of why they have been delaying this decision to test it out for such a long time. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So viewers, don't be like that.
Don't be like that. Guys, any last thoughts? We only have a couple of minutes left. Any last questions or thoughts?
I think, Bob, maybe you want to ask something.
I have something to ask Peter. Really interesting to hear your insights, basically, also on the proof of business value for all the products that are technology that can help you with so much, make the process much more efficient, data sharing being available, also new sources of data, so you can really think of doing different processes, think about it completely differently, different products as well. The mindset you were talking about. But before that, you actually, at the start of the conversation, you said you were extremely excited. And at the same time, because you said, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm very curious, actually, what will we find there, according to you?
For me, the light at the end of the end of the tunnel for me is that there's not going to be one single sheet of paper used to complete a business transaction. That's my holy grail, right? My personal, because I really, hate chopping trees to do paper, because we have computers which can do that part and take the role, right? Because today electronic records also legally can be completely equivalent to a paper document. So why don't we use the computer, right? So that's my holy grail. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great goal.
If I may add something to that, my holy grail is to make it even a step further. Don't talk about documents, because what is a document?
Talk about data.
It's just a representation of something happening in the logistics supply chain, or a proof of something. We can get rid of that terminology completely, because there are other types of proof to show it.
Yeah, and I particularly appreciate the fact that we all shifting in minds when we're talking about records, no long documents. So you said it at the early start. We talk about records, we talk about data. We never mentioned documents, actually, talking about this. So this is the very first preliminary seed for the shift in mindset. Talking about records, talking about data, because we are in a data-based economy, digital economy. Data are the base of digital economy.
Spot on.
Excellent starting point.
And things are falling together, because to move to a completely data-driven environment, you also needed to have some standards, and you need to have the frameworks around it, right? So